Good morning, class 5 students. Today we are going to start with our syllabus in English, and the first term syllabus is a combination of 2 lessons and poems. Before we go ahead, I would like to enforce that education plays a very important role in shaping up and molding a child. You are endowed with a lot of talents and skills, and it is education which brings out the inherent latent talents in you. It was Mahatma Gandhi's dream to make a powerful India, and his mission was to educate everybody in this country. That was what Dr. Radhakrishnan and Abdul Kalam also had in mind, to educate, to make the whole country a literate country, so that all of you are going to be the future citizens and future builders of a powerful India. This textbook is endowed with a lot of palatable activities, insightful exercises, and learning through self-expression and effective communication. We are now going to begin with our first prose lesson under Unit 1, Man versus Nature. Okay, dear children, man versus nature. What do you think of nature? Hasn't God given a beautiful environment, a beautiful surrounding with hills and valleys and trees for you to enjoy? How careful are you in taking care of all these great elements of nature? That is all this lesson is going to be, and how God, if He has to come down into this world and check how things are these days, He is going to be really disappointed. That's all this lesson is about, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy this lesson and get the meaning behind it and get the message behind it. Hope you enjoy. God in his heavenly abode announced his departure to the earth. The angels around him could not understand. Why, God? They queried. Even without going to the earth, you know what is happening out there in that planet. We know that you are present everywhere. The cry of my creation reaches my ears, he said. Let me go and personally listen to their grievances. God came disguised as an old man and stood on the banks of the river. The river recognized God, and the waters came splashing and leaping towards him. How do you do, my beloved river? Asked God. Are you flowing throughout the year and providing good, clean water to all living? The river started crying. How can I? The river lamented. Just have a look at me. Look at the waste water from the city drainage floating on my back. I'm stinking and I feel sick. See how black I am because of the industrial waste. Even on my back, one can see how people dump the waste products. People use my water to bathe, wash clothes, and bathe their animals. How can I remain clean? God remained silent. He let the river wail for some time. Then he turned and looked at the land which was waiting for a signal from God. Immediately rose up like a mound and bowed before God. How are you, dear land? asked God. Is it all well with you? No, my God, said the land. In fact, I was hoping to meet you and tell you my woes. In the beginning, you created me to be fertile and fruitful. But the human beings went away from your purpose and showed no interest in my forests and vegetation. Agricultural lands are turned into factories and industries, estates and buildings. Under the name of modernization, these men have filled my body with chemicals and explosives. Insecticides and fertilizers may give a better yield, but man forgets that they pollute me. My entire body is polluted because of the mining and construction activity. Help me, God, cried the land. God remained silent. He took a deep breath and inhaled the cool air that was blowing around him. He started to cough. The wind, which was waiting in line to speak to God, immediately took the cue and started his speech. Forgive me, my Lord. I know that I am the reason for your cough, and I am sorry for it, explained the wind, and continued. The inventions and discoveries of man have multiplied. The automobiles like buses, cars, and bikes used by man for transportation lets out smoke which is poisonous and injurious to health. Smoke emanating from the fat pollutes me. The poisonous gases from the air conditioners and refrigerators add to the danger. The rubbish dumps mount up like hills, attracting flies and various other airborne diseases. Pure oxygen has become a rarity. The day is not too far when man will have to carry oxygen packets just like water bottles for his very existence. I'm helpless. God remained silent. He understood the agony of the wind. He was about to leave the earth when the man arrived. He was gasping for breath. Excuse me, are you God? He questioned. God nodded. I am happy you had the time to notice me, he said. Since I saw the river, the land, and the wind talking to you, I guessed you might be God, said man, and asked, Can I present my case? Go on, said God. I'm listening. God, the planet Earth has become worse. We cannot live here. The temperature has increased. The air, water, and land has become dirty. There is water scarcity. Give us rain, said the man. I know. But whose fault is it? I created this planet especially for you to live happily. It is a gift for you and for your children. But you have spoilt it. How can you be so careless about life, which is so precious? If you can repent and try to set things right, you can live on. Or else, the doomsday is not far off, said God in a grave tone and went back to his heavenly abode. That's the end of the lesson. And I'm sure, dear children, that you got the message. Now, are you going to make God unhappy? Why don't you take a vow to make this world a better place to live in? I'm sure you will. Okay, now shall we go on to the exercises given here? Okay, on page 53, you have who said these words to whom. If you had listened to the lesson very carefully, I'm sure you're going to make it a very easy answer and you're going to come out with the right answers.